Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today we're going to be talking Chanel price increases and Mr. Bruno Pawlowski giving an interview about it. Oof, child, let me tell ya, what a mess. What a hot mess and what a juicy topic to talk about. Subscribe to my channel here on the tubes. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, for extra perks there as well. Thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a virtual live audience. So hello everybody. I live stream every Saturday. Be sure to join. Everyone's invited to the live stream every Saturday and partake in the conversation. I'm also celebrating 50,000 subscribers. Yay! Thank you guys so much. For the occasion, I've released a gold Super Dacob 50K, a commemorative edition merch, hoodies, t-shirts, even NFTs, all on www.superdacob.com. as well as in my Amazon shop. Links are down below. All right, you guys. Now, listen. Jenny Young says, hi, Fashion Bunker. Congrats on 50K, Dacob. Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you, thank you. Listen. WWD Magazine. How you doing? How you doing? Joel Diederich wrote an article, says, Chanel, again, raises prices of classic handbags. Now, of course, we've all made these, all us luxury YouTube content creators that love Chanel have made videos about the Chanel price increase. I mean, many videos throughout the years because they keep increasing their prices several times a year. But this last one that was supposed to hit March 5th, but then hit March 2nd in some countries and then March 3rd in other countries is an interesting one because it did not apparently hit America this time around, because America had a price increase just a few I want to say beginning of the year, months ago. Yeah, kind of. And it's kind of being saved from this price increase, but it might receive it sooner than later, actually. But anyway, so listen to this. In Paris, they are reporting bad news for Chanel customers. The French luxury house is raising prices. Again. Yeah. Bruno Pawlowski, who is the president of fashion and president of Chanel SAS, said the brand was hiking the cost of its 4 core handbag styles and spring ready-to-wear collection by 6% in the Eurozone, 5% in the UK, 8% in Japan, 5% in South Korea, and 2% in Hong Kong, effective on Thursday, past Thursday. Its classic 1112 bag, which is the timeless classic double flap medium, for instance, now retails for €8,250. Compared with €7,800 previously, the costs of the boy bag, the 255 and the Chanel 19 bags have also gone up, as I've reported in my video a couple of days ago. Go check that one out. Prices in the US and China remain unchanged. This marks the 6th time that Chanel has increased its prices since the start of the lockdown in 2020. And the second time in the space of 6 months following an adjustment last November. The adjustment of last November, when a bag goes up €1,000, that's no adjustment. That is a ratchet price increase. But listen to this. Because there's an interview with Pawlowski, right? And what he has to say. Pawlowski confirmed a Purse blog report that it separately raised prices for the Coco Handle, Business Affinity, and Boy Bag with Handle handbags on January 15th. In the States, conscious of the growingly vocal discontent among purse aficionados, Pawlowski spoke to WWD to clarify the brand's strategy. Now, the second a CEO or director or president of a major company gives an interview to, quote, clarify the brand's strategy, you know they're going to lie. No brand is ever going to disclose to the masses its strategy. Because for them, it's war. Winning, beating the competition. They don't want any of their strategy out there leaked. So if the president is telling you, yeah, let me tell you our strategy publicly, every single alarm bell in me and outside of me goes off. Ah, thank you, sweet things, for getting the stencil hoodie. Ah, thank you, my love. Thank you so much. So anyway, listen to this. It's so funny. Conscious, okay. Chanel introduced a price harmonization policy back in 2015 that is designed to guarantee that differences between the retail prices of its products do not vary by more than 10% from region to region. They called it the harmonization back in 2015. I was there when it happened, and I mean, it was a joke. It was like, no, you're not harmonizing prices. That's a greedy move. Now, he is quoted to have said, allegedly, right? Our objective is to offer the same price everywhere to limit the parallel market. It's an important signal to our customers because it's a way of engaging with them in an honest way. Honest? Nowadays, there is no reason to penalize a Chinese customer versus an American customer. Nowadays. So he's implying that they were penalizing them in the past. Oh, okay. It's normal that they should pay the same price for the same product, he said. He goes on saying that's allegedly, that's our choice as a brand. But what that means is that if we let prices slip between Europe, for example, and Asia, we know that we are directly or indirectly feeding a parallel market, which is not very satisfactory for our point of view with regard to our local customers, he added. If only they cared for their local customers, really, because most of the time they don't. While the brand initially lowered prices in China when the policy was introduced back in 2015, in most cases it has resulted in price increases, which have snowballed since the lockdown. He's then quoted to have said, allegedly again, we raise our prices more often because of the price harmonization policy. Having said that, it's not the only reason, Pawlowski said. Oh, really, Mr. Bruno? You think that we would fall for you just saying that it's about price harmonization? Girl, how old and how stupid do you think we are? Since the lockdown began, Chanel has accelerated the pace of increases due to partly rising production costs and partly to positioning. However, he denied the widespread interpretation that the brand was driving the cost of its handbags upward in order to align itself with the Birkin from Hermès bag. So now again, allegedly, he says, Hermès bags are great, but yes, Bruno Pawlowski, he's throwing, the sister is throwing shade. Let's read this with his really heavy French accent. Hermès bags are great, but I think our bags are very different. The construction of our bags is different, as are the materials. Even the way you wear them is different. So yes, we do compete with Hermès, but we are not in competition on a specific bag, he said. Now, for those of you who are a little bit rusty in an ugly French accent, let me reread this. Oh, thank you for buying a superdacob 50K NFT, sweetie. Now let me read it again in plain English. Hermès bags are great, but I think our bags are very different. The construction of our bags is different, as are the materials. Even the way you wear them is different. So yeah, we do compete with Hermès, but we are not in competition on a specific handbag, he said. It's like, girl, oh my God, don't even get me started. Then he goes on, allegedly, you can't be the most luxurious, the most desirable brand and not have a price positioning that is high on the market today, he argued, allegedly. Indeed, pricing power is a key attribute of luxury goods, and Europe's biggest players have been reporting robust business. Dior said it pushed through an average 8% increase worldwide on January 18th, while last month, Louis Vuitton was reported to have hiked the retail cost of its signature bags by 10% on average to reflect inflation and rising production, raw material, and transportation costs. You can check out my video on the Louis Vuitton price increase where we debunk all of this, more or less, by also talking about all of the strikes that the Louis Vuitton workers have been doing in France because they're not being paid properly. So they allegedly. However, in what appeared to be a veiled dig at Chanel, LVMH Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton chairman and chief executive officer Bernard Arnault in January of 2022 cautioned against excessive price rises, allegedly. And allegedly he says, "We don't want to give the impression, like some brands do, of heading toward prices that no longer match the economic reality of the price of the products. You have to be reasonable." And I'm like, Bernard Arnault, a billionaire, is telling us what is reasonable, what pricing is reasonable. We have a person who's totally disconnected with reality telling us what's reasonable. So he's like, hey, we all know Chanel's prices are not reasonable. But like this coming from Louis Vuitton. Okay. Good for him. And then he says, you have to be reasonable. We try to be reasonable so that our customers feel that they're dealing with brands that offer them something realistic. You guys, let's analyze this word by word. You have to be reasonable. We try to be reasonable so that our customers feel that they're dealing with brands that offer them something realistic. He's not saying that he wants to offer you something realistic. He's saying that he wants you to think. He wants to trick you into thinking that you're being offered something realistic, because the words here, allegedly, are, we try to be reasonable so that our customers feel that they're dealing with brands that offer them something realistic and not something that is artificially inflated, even if the products are very beautiful, he said, allegedly. Pawlowski said Chanel has invested heavily in improving the quality of its handbags and making sure they meet its environmental responsibility standards. Its 7 tanneries, located in France, Spain, and Italy, are increasingly using chromium-free and waterless methods. Today, now Bruno says, Pawlowski from Chanel, allegedly, today we're investing in our bags to make them even more beautiful, using the finest materials and the latest technologies with the aim of ensuring that these bags are aligned with the CSR transformation that we want them to reflect, he said. Allegedly, we're noticeably increasing the perceived quality of these bags. And this is the trigger, the biggest trigger for me. When Bruno Pawlowski says, allegedly, we are noticeably increasing the perceived quality of these bags. This does not mean we're increasing the quality of these bags. This means we're increasing the illusion that these bags have better quality. Because what he allegedly says here is we're increasing the perceived, that's a trigger word, increasing the perceived quality of these bags. Not the quality, the perceived quality. So it's what you feel is better quality. What the manipulation that you get out because it costs more now, so it has to be better. I have to find a way to justify the fact that it costs so much. So they will make you feel as if you're buying better quality. And he says it right here, allegedly, right? But he says it right here. We're noticeably increasing the perceived quality of these bags. You guys, I mean, you can't make this shit up. All right. He added, allegedly, that Chanel last year increased the warranty for its handbags to 5 years from 2 years and created the Chanel et Moi program, which offers bag maintenance and repairs. Yeah. which opens up a whole other can of worms, because now there's allegedly a lot of complications legally, because some brands are allegedly alleging that, well, if you buy our vintage bag somewhere and it's a little bit busted, and then you want to repair it somewhere, you want to get it, fixed up, you want to fix the leather corners of the bag, you get some cobbler to paint it up, if it's a black bag, to kind of retouch the paint where the paint has been scratched. You polish the hardware, you can replace the hardware with, you could make a copy of the hardware. I mean, good people, people know how to do it. And you can fix the hardware. And then now a lot of brands are alleging, well, when you do that, is that bag still authentic? If a reseller, let's say a vintage reseller, buys vintage bags of some brand and fixes them, refurbishes them, and then sells them, well, some brands are suing these vintage salespeople because they're saying, well, this bag isn't authentic anymore, but you're still using our logo on it. So we're going to sue you because this bag isn't authentic anymore. You've changed it too much. You've manipulated it too much. But bottom line is, in my opinion, well, they're just suing because they just don't want to have a secondhand market out there. So I'm not mentioning any brand here. I'm just saying in general, this is something that is happening more and more frequently, unfortunately. And there's a debate to be had about that as well, I feel, right? Like, are you allowed to buy a used bag and refurbish it if it's busted and make it look pretty again and then sell it without the fear that the brand that made that bag is going to come after you and say, you refurbished it too much, now this bag isn't authentic anymore, so we're coming after you because you're selling an unauthentic bag? Very shady, you see? So anyway, another quote, allegedly, it's not just a price increase for the sake of a price increase or because of a race against our competitors. It's because we have a valuable product, and this valuable product requires real commitments and real investments to guarantee its existence for the next 20 years, he allegedly said. This, I agree with him on, because if he wants to think strategically 20 years from now to maintain the covetability and desirability of the brand, if he's thinking of the which is sad. I mean, if he's thinking of the brand only in terms of bags, that would be very sad, because Chanel, I said this in many other videos, Chanel began as millinery hats, but then obviously pret-à-porter. It's a couture brand. It's not a freaking bag brand. So if he wants to say he wants the covetability of these bags to still be there in 20 years from now, I would answer him, but Chanel is not a bag brand, Chanel isn't a leather brand. Chanel is a couture brand, first and foremost. So, and if you think that the only way to maintain the desirability of the Chanel brand is by selling their bags and Chanel No. 5 perfume, well, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble, obviously. Ooh, thank you for buying the NFT, the 50K celebratory NFT. Thank you so much, sweetie. So what are we going to do at this point? It's like thinking, well, Chanel really has to shine through couture, because that's what the brand is there for. The bags are accessories and they should be treated as such, but unfortunately the bags have become the most important thing for this brand, and this brand is also trying to fight that, because they don't want just people to kind of wanting their bags and that's it. So certain desirable bags are put up on a very high price level so that like they're out of reach. So like, hey, focus on something else. But unfortunately, my humble opinion, what this is going to contribute, and this is why I think Arnaud, even though he threw shade at Chanel by saying some brands raise prices way too much, I think he's right by saying that Chanel, that there's a risk there, because they think that they're kind of blocking off too much sales of their classic bags, and that And they might be thinking that by upping the prices of their classic bags, that this secondhand market is going to follow, upping their prices. So less and less people are going to be able to afford buying these bags also on the secondhand market, hence killing off the secondhand market. But what they fail to see here is that the biggest risk for them is not the secondhand market. Oh no, baby. It's the replica market. This is their biggest risk because they're so outpricing themselves and making their bags unreachable to the normal middle lower class person who, contrary to popular belief, also keeps the brand afloat, because just the rich will not make the brand survive. With the advancement of technology, especially in countries where replicas are produced, because technology has advanced a lot since the 80s and 90s. Now, you can find bags that look just like the real thing, but cost way less. And there's several degrees of it. There's like, bad looking ones and really, really good looking ones. You got to pay more for them, but more in a reasonable amount. And the biggest risk that these brands are running, the luxury brands that are outpricing themselves out of the market, they think they're going to be killing the secondhand market by doing so, or the parallel market. But what they're in reality enabling, in my humble opinion, and this is just my opinion, what they are, in my opinion, enabling is the replica market. And that is a dangerous game to play, because there's no way they can block that. There's just no way. You can check out my video on Chanel suing a perfume company. I made a video on Chanel suing a company in China and winning the lawsuit. Check that out on my channel as well. But that was an exceptional, you could say, alone standing example of, progression in terms of owning the rights of your own brand and not letting somebody copy you. But guess what? The second that they won that lawsuit and maybe the factory had to shut down, another 10 pop up in its place, because that's how it works. And you can't keep running after all of these, at a certain point you're going to lose, and especially you're going to lose when your prices go so high up there that people don't even want to buy the exorbitant prices that also the secondhand market has to offer. And then they're going to start resorting to the replicas that are getting better and better. The super fakes getting better and better. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about that? Because that's where you're pushing your clients, that middle lower class client, and also some upper class clients who are not dumb to think, oh yeah, sure, $10,000, a little tiny bag. Yes, queen, let me buy 3. Just saying, be careful, Chanel, because you're playing with fire. Just my opinion. Anyway, just saying, Richard says, I think people will start turning to fakes more too, because the quality at some of these brands is almost the same at this point. The technology has advanced, you guys. We always fail to consider this, because we always think about all these like fake bags, like we think how poorly constructed they were, in the 80s and 90s. And even then they had some super fakes. But now with the modern day technology, like the shit you could do. And then the next step from there is, well, you devalue the brand. At a certain point, it becomes, vulgar. And that's a big risk. That's a big risk you're running. There's a tipping point, says Oli. There is. Trina Garrity says, now fakes are amazing. Julie says, I don't know how they can justify these price rises. Even people on high incomes won't spend that much on a bag. I agree with you. There's a certain level to everything, I have my level as well of like how much I'm willing to spend on Chanel. I have in my mind, for my standards, I have my limits set, and I know exactly how much what is worth to me, and I'm not willing to go over that limit. Absolutely not. Just saying. So that's the topic. Christoph says, counterfeit is the biggest issue with the high fashion, and they're about to burn. Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're burning themselves. You guys, it's literally like shooting yourself in the leg. Gloria says, not gonna lie, I've thought about it. There you go, Gloria. Audrey says, I remember in the early noughties, the fake Louis Vuitton and Von Dutch were everywhere. Well, they still are. But now you got a choice. Now you can choose between ratchet quality, meh quality, okayish quality, interesting quality, not bad quality, good quality, very good quality, great quality, super fake. And they all have different price ranges. And it's kind of scary, but also fascinating to observe this evolution, where it will take us, and how far are the brands willing, because it feels to me like Chanel is kind of ignoring that it's happening. They're like, no, 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 you know, headphones on, blinded, you know, monkey, you know, don't speak, don't see, don't hear. We're pushing our agenda, la-di-da, la-di-da. And at the same time, there's like that whole other world out there that is getting better and better at copying their bags, which are, to be honest with you guys, fairly simply constructed bags. Even the bag and bag concept for the double flaps, sure, it takes time to make them, but it's not a genius move. You need the right machines, and you need people who take their time to make them, and then you could do it. And technology is advancing quicker than you think. So I really don't know. I feel they're playing with fire. Bottom line. Bottom line. Audrey says, when my parents went to Dubai, they met a man that took them behind a mirror in the hotel. There were fakes galore, and from what I saw on some photos, they were incredible copies. Ban H says, great. Just yesterday, I went to Chanel boutique and filled out some papers for the wait list of the classic wallet on chain. Now it is going to be even more expensive once arrived, and it's time to pay. Yeah, I know, it's terrible, and it's heartbreaking. It happened to me once too, and I ordered my camera, my 255 camera bag, literally a week before it arrived. So I ordered it on one day, and the boutique said, oh, we can source it from another boutique from another country, and then they kind of sent it in, and by the time it arrived, the price went up, and I'm like, hold on, you told me a different price when we ordered it. And my sister was like, oh, oops, yeah, it probably went up on the way here. I'm like, girl. And I mentioned this in the unboxing of the bag, and I was like, oh my god, seriously, you guys? It went up like 300, roundabout. I can't remember anyway. It was 2, 3, or 4. Yeah, okay. It's just a heartache and a headache just thinking about it. The camera bag is super squishy, Audrey. I love it to bits. And now, you know, it was a great price considering what they're doing now. Just saying. Congratulations on the 50K. Well deserved, says Jorge. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sweetie. And thank you for being a tier 2 member since 6 months. Thank you for the super chat. So, let's end it on this wonderful note. Thank you so much, Jorge. So, remember to subscribe to my channel, thumb up this video, leave your thoughts in the comment down below, and get your 50K merch. Whether it be material or a non-fungible token version of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All the links are down below. Love you all. Never forget to never give up on love. Bye.